Yeah, back at RedBud, the big American flag, the fans along the fence, and bikes soaring over Larocco's Leap. It all must mean one thing, and Geico salutes 4th of July weekend at RedBud.
RedBud and the 4th of July race is by far our best one of the year. Everyone's there in the red, white, and blue, and everyone's just kind of going crazy, and it just seems so American.
Me being American and us racing on 4th of July every year at RedBud is super inspiring. It gives me the chills, you know, the American flags waving, the horns going, all the fans.
It's awesome to see, you know, them so proud and just getting so loud and rowdy.
To be on the line and see that many die-hard American fans there and just that love America, hearing the national anthem and the big flag waving, it really kind of puts you back into reality to let you know that you're doing what you love to do.
When they play that national anthem right before the first moto, it's you know, you get chills down your body and just gets you fired up.
Get on the podium there, man, I tell you what, that's a rowdy crowd right there by the podium.
I'm definitely a Patriot, and I look forward to going to RedBud this year, that's for sure.
You're hearing fireworks going off, and then we race on Saturday, and it's a dang good time.
Oh yeah, it's about to get wild here. 450 class has been so fun to watch this year, and we're just over 10 minutes away from their first moto of the weekend here at RedBud. Last race, one of the best you'll ever see at High Point, and it came down to a spectacular battle in the second moto. Eli Tomac had taken off with the lead. At one point we had Dylan Ferrandis, Ken Roxon, and Adam Cianciarulo going 3 wide in spots. Don't count out the likes of Plessinger or Sabachi or Barsha, Webb, Muscan, Sexton, so many contenders.
Hi, I'm Ken Roxon, and you're watching the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship on
Crisscrossing the country and meeting right here in the middle of RedBud, right on the Indiana and Michigan state line. Lucas Oil Helicopter giving us some great angles of this racetrack. We'll show you another good angle courtesy of our MX versus ATV track map. This is actual gameplay from MX versus ATV.
Yeah, we're going to pick up the second half of the lap here, coming into these sand rollers. Our rider chooses the outside line. Get your weight back. Try to time these whoops as best you can. Pick your line there. We've seen outside and inside working. Yep. Get nice and sideways off that jump. And can he do what the 250 riders were not able to do?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
And a little bit short, like a lot of the 250 riders did in practice. Try to get to this inside. Don't get on the throttle too hard when it's slick there. And there you go. There's your lap to RedBud.
Okay. 450 riders have left the gate. They're on their sighting lap, and they're headed back to the starting line. And when we come back, a couple of them are already back. We'll be ready to go racing. This should be a good one. Summertime in Michigan on the lakes. Hard to beat it. We're having a great time here in Michigan for Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. As we get ready for our first 450 moto of the day, let's send it back down trackside with Ashley Raynard.
Thank you so much, Jason. We've seen some brilliant rides from the Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha rider Aaron Plessinger this year. However, in qualifying earlier today, he said he was struggling a little bit with arm pump. I asked him if that was something that he deals with often, and he said today, yes, he is. He says he prefers it when there's some long ruts in the track, and he can relax a little bit more. With it skating around, he was gripping really tight, so he was working really hard with Doc G. Hopefully they got it figured out for this first moto.
Yeah, Doc G, kind of the behind-the-scenes guru, helping the riders with their aches and pains and getting the blood flowing early. Some other things that are important here. It's our KTM keys to the moto, Grant.
Yeah, I put clean start because often you say you want to get the whole shot, but the first 2 turns are very tight, easy to override, get pushed wide. So keep it tidy, get in and out of those turns quick, and then find good lines. The track keeps evolving. What starts off as a good line, usually halfway through the moto, is blown out, and you have to search for something else. So be aware of your surroundings, and then don't override the track. You saw it even happen with Jet Lawrence. The bike wasn't working that good, but he managed it, didn't override it, and still came out with the win. So do those 3 things, and I think you'll have a good day.
Okay, so that's your KTM keys to the moto. If you look at your series standings right now, it has gone back and forth. Dylan Ferrandis and Ken Roczen, they swapped the red plate as the points leader in each race this year. What's impressive, Ferrandis, last year's 250 champion, leading the points in his first year on a 450. But it's been done before. Ken Roczen won this title in his first year in the class, and so did Ryan Dungey. And we have Ryan Dungey helping us with the broadcast this weekend. So, Ryan, talk about Dylan Ferrandis as a rookie in the class, leading the series. Can he maintain this form all year long?
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely living up to the hype and the expectation, if not more. He's in a great spot. As like you said, it's his rookie year. He's got 2 wins under his belt. He's been on the podium the other one. And just overall, a really solid rider. He came into this series just really strong. He's proven with a bad start, he can get to the front. With a good start, he can win. So definitely make it tough on these guys. But the championship is too far down the pipeline to start thinking about that. He's got to really focus on what he's doing each moto and just keep doing what he's doing and not overthink anything. Okay, but I've noticed this, GL. The guys who are battling for the points every week are lined up next to each other on the gate, Roczen and Ferrandis.
Yeah, and Ferrandis is theoretically on the outside, so if he gets a jump, he has all the reason to just come across on Kenny. But I wouldn't be surprised, Kenny, if he gets a jump to lean on him. It actually takes me back about 20 years ago when Travis Pastrana and I were next to each other, and he lent on me in Moto 1, and I was like, dang it. And then second moto, I got the jump, and I lent on him and ruined his race.
We kept waiting for you two to battle, and then years later, you're like, of course, we kept cutting each other off.
Yeah.
So only one guy was going to get a good start in every moto. You cannot leave that door open in this 450 class, though. There's plenty of other guys that'll take advantage.
Well, that's the thing, too. If you're thinking like one of these guys, if I get the jump and I can pinch him and bury him, it's really hard to pass with that much talent and depth. See some words of encouragement from his mechanic, Jordan, there. Ken usually pretty mellow, but you can see he's getting himself fired up. Ferrandis, a little bit more like me, fidgets the whole time. Cannot stop doing stuff. But it's funny watching the guys pre-race sort of nerves happening.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the heart rates are up already, and they have not even moved on those motorcycles. They're about to. Fly Racing 30-second card is up. Ferrandis, by the way, for the first time this year, was fastest qualifier this morning. So another shot of momentum for the Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha rider. Peyton Mim is back with us to handle the Fly Racing 30-second card. So many other contenders beyond just Ferrandis and Roczen. Let's go racing at RedBud. Plessinger with a good start to the inside. Webb going to try to get him on the outside in a big pileup in the center of the pack. I think it's going to be Plessinger. Yes, with the motorsport.com whole shot. Then it's Webb, then Roczen.
Might have been Sexton that went down.
It was Sexton, okay.
I just saw a Honda do a front flip there. I think he's got on the brakes, front end tucked.
39th, they're saying Sexton, tough break for him. Oh, what a battle between Webb and Plessinger. Webb got it. Plessinger gets it back.
Yeah, Webb got a loose coming out of that turn. The back end came around and almost jumped into the path of the other riders. But I was watching closely the 94 and the...
Oh! Kenny comes up short on that triple. Almost threw it away.
I think they groomed the face of that jump, and they took a little bit of the lip off, because even the 250 class, they weren't getting the height like they were in practice. Look at this.
Roczen shrugs that right off, goes to work on Webb. Here's Sean Cerullo. Sean Cerullo has already gotten around his teammate Tomac. He's challenging Roczen. Roczen's challenging Webb, and all the while, Plessinger getting away.
Once again, this has just been 450s this year. 3 wide is nothing new. Just incredible racing. Now they're 3 wide again. Ken goes up the inside. I think Cooper was a little indecisive there.
And so Roczen and Sean Cerullo both get by Webb. And then you got Eli Tomac in the mix as well. And then Ferrandis. Oh, mistake. I can't tell. Or was that just 2 lines coming together?
2 lines coming together.
Okay, yeah. Webb and Sean Cerullo almost collided there. Now Webb under the attack from Tomac and Ferrandis.
Yeah, I was watching the 94 and the 14, just very curious about that start. They were like elbow to elbow, so no one really could lean on the other one. And they both came out okay. It was just Ferrandis was on the outside of Roczen, which is why he's a couple spots further back.
And here it is, Larocco's leap. Will Plessinger uncork it on lap 1? He does.
And you know that you see the crowd instantly erupts, but so does Roczen.
So it's doable on a 450, and this is what the crowd wanted to see. We're back here with the big packed grandstands on July 4th weekend and this tremendous 450 racing. Look at this pack that we've got right now. Webb, Tomac, Ferrandis, Musquin right behind him. Tomac makes the move on Webb.
Yeah, Webb is getting crossed way too easy on these opening laps.
Yeah, we've seen it all season long. It has been puzzling for your reigning now Monster Energy Supercross champ. It has just not been at the same level here in Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. As for Tomac, he answered some of the questions at our last race. He was struggling at the beginning of the year as well, but then he won the second moto at High Point, our last event. So we'll see if he can build off of that. Ferrandis looking to go to work on Webb. This is for 5th.
Yeah, we know how Ferrandis is. He's not going to hang around. He's going to do this as quickly as possible. He'll see who's ahead of him, and when you're trying to come through the pack a little bit and you see riders in front of you, you don't want to see your title contenders. You always hope it's some other guys that you don't have to worry about long term. Ferrandis charges that hill, finding that middle line. They all kind of come out pretty even.
Ferrandis going to try to go from outside to inside. Didn't quite get the drive out of that corner. This is the spot right here, this next turn, where Webb lost a spot 1 lap ago. A little bit better defense this time from the number 2.
Yeah, he takes that same line, but he's just a little bit tentative in that mid-turn going over that roller, and it costs him a couple bike lengths. Ferrandis now super close. This turn sort of funneling into that one line, but Ferrandis is always good through these sand rollers. I got to imagine he's going to really try and launch an attack. Cooper goes to the inside to protect that line as Ferrandis rails that berm, feet on the pegs.
Woo!
Oh, switches it up back to the outside for this turn. What's he going to try to do?
He's got the inside, not quite enough to get Webb. Shout out, by the way, to Christian Craig, who's moved up. He's gotten around Musquin. He's the next rider in line as Ferrandis goes way wide to try to find some real estate and make a run at Webb. That was too far outside. Oh, it allows him to jump the leap. I didn't realize Webb wasn't going to get it. So Ferrandis is right back to him.
Yeah, you can see he's still jumping it. Oh, whoa, that was very close there. Now watch Ferrandis. He's going to try to go to the outside, just carry a lot of speed into this turn and go the long way around.
No, Webb able to chop him off from the inside. Up ahead, you see Sean Cirillo and Tomac, then Roczen and Plessinger.
Yeah, I think Webb overheard us saying he's been too easy to pass this season, because now all of a sudden the old salty Cooper Webb getting those elbows up in that bike extra wide.
Going to get a little frustrating, though, for Ferrandis, because as you said, he's seeing Roczen and the other riders battling for points in this series starting to get away. Webb's pretty far back in the series already.
Ferrandis charged that hill. The rear came around on him. Oh, once again, another mistake, gathers it up. I wonder if, too, he also looks like maybe his suspension didn't go in the right direction. We saw that from a few 250 riders. Ferrandis looking a little under braking. You can see as these bumps have developed, the bike looks just a little loose. You wanted to go up and down, not side to side. We've seen it deflect a few times as Cooper.
Happened to Webb. Yep, deflected a little bit going downhill, and that weird rut in the middle. That's not straight. Ferrandis trying to stick right to the hip of Webb, maybe to make something happen down that hill. Couldn't make it. Let's see. Now Webb gets wheel spin coming out of that corner. Webb switching all the way to the outside here. Ferrandis picks a middle line.
Yeah, I like what Ferrandis does. He stays below the choppy berm, so it's smooth.
Downhill we go. Ferrandis doing everything he can to get Webb. Meanwhile, on the top of the screen, you can see Plessinger. He's got a 2.5-second lead. So we continue to focus on this battle.
Oh, look at Ferrandis. You can tell he's getting frustrated. He wants to make this pass soon. Oh, and another mistake. Coming out of that turn, there's a big hole on that outside. You really got to get the front wheel up.
Wow. Oh, Ferrandis almost had it. A spectacular job doubling into the corner. Almost made up enough ground to have Webb edged. Here it is. If Webb cannot jump the Rocco's leap from the inside, Ferrandis is going to make a ton of ground from the outside. He does. Still advantage Webb.
Yeah, it's just, he has to be just a little bit closer. Unfortunately, that outside line is quite slow. If that built up a nice little berm where it was a little bit, less slow, then they could get the pass done. Look, Marvin now trying to make a move back on Christian in the background there.
Yep, that's Christian Craig, Marvin Muscan, and you got Justin Barsha and Dean Wilson right behind them. That's 10th and 11th. Ferrandis going to have to reset and go back after Cooper Webb at the Lucas Oil helicopter to keep tabs on your leader, Aaron Plessinger. Roczen only matched him the last time around, not closing yet. Plessinger has actually never won a moto in the 450 class of Lucas Oil Pro Motocross, former champ in the 250 class of this series. Oh no, Plessinger feet off the pegs, almost threw it away.
That jump where they land on the flat, it bottoms out at the bottom of your screen. This is where they are. You land in that soft dirt, easy to get your feet ripped off if you bottom out. But for Plessinger, that lead has shrunk a lot. As now Ferrandis.
Whoa! Oh, that was like a full-on flat track corner there for Ferrandis. Beautiful job.
He got the bike nicely planted, leant over, thing of beauty. Because, like we say, these ruts aren't nice arcs. They got little hooks and, you know, holes and whatever.
Able to get it done on Webb, so the door has burst open. It took everything Ferrandis had to get around him. As we focus back on the leaders, that mistake by Plessinger has put him within the sights of Roczen. Roczen had seen Cerullo all over him earlier. He's edged away just a smidge, about 2 seconds between those two. Then it's Tomac.
It's allowing them to all stay pretty close together. I think the big question out of this group is going to be, is Plessinger going to suffer from arm pump, because he's already made a few mistakes. He's leading, like you mentioned, his first time leading a 450, so a lot of pressure. Is he going to jump this from that middle line? Yes, he lifts.
It's going to be hard to get.
Ooh,
barely made it.
Comes up a little bit short, but I think he'd rather, if he knows he's going to gain a couple tenths, he'll just continue to do that.
Okay, so you're saying the big question is, can Plessinger hold on? I'm wondering about the man in fourth right now, Eli Tomac. He's just close enough to be within striking distance. Which Eli Tomac will we see when Tomac's on? His best work is usually done late in the moto, so there are so many things at play in this one. Can Tomac make a charge? Can Roczen get to Plessinger? How will Cerullo respond from third?
Oh, look at the lap times. Look at Ferrandis with clear track. 2:06, fastest guy on the track. And he's already right to the rear of Tomac. Watch when they hold the camera. There he is.
Unbelievable. So all that damage that was done took him 2-3 laps to get around Webb. He has erased all that. And again, he was fastest in qualifying. There's something about this track. He was absolutely beaming and buzzing about the track prep and how comfortable he was earlier today. Ferrandis is on the move.
This is going to be interesting. You're going to get this accordion effect with the guy at the back of this lead battle is the quickest. And they're all starting to bunch up just a little bit. Man, every time we talk about how good is this 450 class, it just continues to deliver.
Yeah, because Tomac, no slouch here. He is catching Cerullo. This is about to be a battle for third. And let's make it a three-rider battle, because Ferrandis is there as well. Roczen continuing to put the heat on Plessinger. Let's watch this. Tomac versus Ferrandis.
In fact, last lap around, Ferrandis was 5 seconds quicker than Plessinger, who's your leader. Yes, I know Plessinger made a mistake, but still, that's a lot of time. Ferrandis so good, just charging into that turn, carrying a ton of speed.
Yeah, what braking bumps? He just ignored those. Here we go into the sand rollers. You don't often see people rolling up on Eli Tomac on rough sections of the racetrack, but Ferrandis is on a very high level this year. Oh, look at this. Roczen down to the inside. Got the lead on Plessinger.
Yeah, if Roczen can see what's happening behind him, he's telling himself, make this pass and get out of here.
Yeah, don't let Ferrandis get you in his sights. He has been hard to hold back once he gets a hook in. So look at Roczen. He is putting the power down right now. Let's see if Plessinger can stay with him. If he doesn't, there is a snarling pack back there ready to come after him.
I think for AP right now, maybe it wasn't a bad thing getting past, because it takes a little bit of the pressure off. He can watch Ken. Ken's really good, always has great lines. Maybe he can learn some things and come back later in the moto.
Ken Roczen trying to get away now at RedBud. Still the first half of the first 450 moto. Awesome to have this Lucas Oil helicopter. Here's the triple where could have been a disaster for Roczen there. He came up short. Also came up short on Larocco's leap and held on. So can't argue with the grit here of Roczen. He's doing what he has to do. But this is a critical juncture. Can he pull away from the pack and open up a gap?
Well, AP's doing a pretty good job of just keeping him in his sight. He lost his visor.
Plessinger?
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out when they get a little closer. We go uphill, then we head into what we call the Monza turn.
There's Kenny, and then
just don't quite have the angle on it to see.
Yeah, it's gone.
Okay, so no visor, the bullet head, as you would call it, the shape of the helmet for Plessinger.
Not that that's a huge deal, but if he gets close to Kenny and the roost starts coming and he goes to duck, he's still going to get hit in the goggle lens. I'm thinking that it came off when he had that hard landing when his feet came off. You know, some of these helmet companies are using magnets instead of screws, and you slap your head hard enough, you know, snap your neck, you lose your visor.
Yeah, they want the visor to break away with a certain amount of impact on purpose. So if you face plant crash, it dulls some of the impact, but it can lead to a problem in the race. Look at this. Ferrandis is all over Cianciarulo, and he's already ahead of Tomac. This guy's dangerous.
He's the man on a mission. It's been like that all season.
Well, this is what I've been calling. Oh, we'll call this action in a second as we're going to about to return here on MAV TV. We have reached the Dylan Danger Zone portion of the program. The number 14, Dylan Ferrandis, your series leader, not always the best starter, but when he gets rolling, he is awfully hard to stop. And once he gets you in sight, you are in trouble. He's already gotten around Eli Tomac, and now he's going after Adam Cianciarulo for third.
Yeah, he is just attacking this track everywhere. Just his entrance speed. He's coming in the turns wider than everyone, carrying more entrance and mid speed, and then a lot of times there, that was a little shaky from him compared to previous laps. But look at this.
Oh, you're talking about charging these corners, so much more entrance speed. Can he seal off Cianciarulo? He does. Dylan Ferrandis has passed both now of the Monster Kawasaki factory boys to put himself in a podium position, and I can guarantee you he's not satisfied with third.
No, he's not. The leaders are not that far ahead, and with the speed he's been showing lap after lap, I mean, he's the fastest guy on the track. And only Kenny and Dylan are in the 208s, so he's flying while passing riders.
Send it back down to our multi-time champ, Ryan Dungey. What are you seeing out there, RD?
Yeah, most definitely with Ken, with taking advantage of this lead, he really needs to start applying himself and pulling away from the pack. If this is a situation where Ferrandis can kind of close the gap and pass these guys and get to him, it's going to really, mentally, there's going to be a shift here in this series, and it's going to get harder and harder to beat Ferrandis. So I think this is critical for Ken to just get out front, pull away, and not get caught by Ferrandis. And he's got to clean up that Larocco's leap, because if you case that thing, that can be a blowed out rim or wheel or spoke. So got to clean those up too.
Hey Ryan, I also got to figure when you case a jump like that, that's a lot of energy too, right?
It is. It just kind of takes the flow away from you. It's hard on the bike. I mean, those bikes can only take so much. They can take a lot, don't get me wrong, but I've blown out a couple wheels, probably Grant has too, from some hard impacts, and that's a hard one. So these guys really got to be careful of those things.
All right, thanks, Ryan Dungey. We're halfway through this moto, 15 minutes to go. And in 15 minutes, you could save 15% or more on your insurance with Geico. Also saw the back end step out for Roczen a few turns ago. And look at this, Plessinger's hanging around.
That's the best thing he could have done, was just try to latch on to Kenny, find some lines, relax a little bit. So at this point, doesn't look like he's feeling the effects of the arm pump. And once again, last lap around, Ken Roczen at 2:08.9, Plessinger at 2:09.9, Ferrandis 2:08.6, the fastest guy on the track once again.
Can he get them within his sights? Meanwhile, we have the battling Kawasaki teammates, and the battle has changed. Tomac has gotten around Cianciarulo. Yeah, that corner was bizarre.
In the middle of the corner.
Yeah, not sure what happened there. So that's going to push Adam back to 5th. They've got a pretty good gap. How about Craig, man? He has gotten around Webb. He is in 6th. Then it's Webb, Barsha, Wilson, and Sexton, who was down in turn 1, is up to the number 10 spot. Eli starting to roll here. And it's all relative. He's riding well. but he was not able to hold Ferrandis back and not able to stay with him when he got around. So there is Tomac running in a lonely number 4 spot right now. Then it's Cianciarulo. And how about Craig? Not only is he in 6th, but he is not out of it. He might make a run at Adam Cianciarulo here. His 3rd birthday, by the way, for his daughter. Everybody knows Craig, off the track, great family man, and they're working, I think they got a 3rd child on the way, as a matter of fact. But right now, the order of business, try to get into that top 5, and he is closing.
I'm wondering if maybe Cianciarulo's not dealing with a little bit of arm pump. He just doesn't look like himself at the moment.
Well, the persistence of Plessinger has paid off. He is right back on Ken Roczen in a battle for the lead. And all the while, that Dylan danger zone, you now see the number 14 starting to lurk. Pretty much every time he's gotten someone in his sights this year, he's been able to get them. So this should set up for a spectacular end for this moto, a 3-rider battle.
Yeah, this has been a nice turnaround because I really felt nervous for AP at one point, thinking he might sort of tighten up and just drop off this lead group. But the opposite happened. He started flowing, seeing what Kenny was doing. And he'll notice, like if I use my line and Ken pulls away, okay, his line's better, switch it up. Vice versa, you catch up to me, you're like, ooh, I got a little something there. So now, as this motor's gone on and the lines have changed, AP's had the opportunity to look and see and figure it out for himself.
Okay, so there you can get a great view of how close our top 3 is. Ken Roczen leading the Yamaha teammates at RedBud. So this is what Ryan Dungey was telling us. This is the critical part of the moto for Roczen. He wasn't able to break Plessinger. Plessinger stayed in it, and they brought Ferrandis with them. So now he is going to have to deal with some serious pressure if he wants to hold on and win this moto.
Yeah, as Ryan was alluding to earlier, if Kenny could have pulled a gap, managed it, it would have made this race a lot easier. But Kenny's smart. He knows his surroundings. He's going to know it's not just one Yamaha, it's 2. And he knows the other one's the biggest danger. But he can't, figure out who's more dangerous than the other. He's just got to focus on himself because he's going to have to finish this moto under pressure no matter what.
Oh, yeah, because Plessinger just keeps getting closer. And while he's closing, Ferrandis even quicker than that. He's closing on Plessinger. And there's still 10 minutes and 2 laps to go. So they're going to put Roczen to the test here.
This is going to be a tough one for Roczen after the race. If Ferrandis is able to win this, he's going to look and go, man, he passed the best of the best to get into that position.
There's no doubt he has been the fastest man on track. He was fastest at qualifying. He's made moves to get to this position. But just getting there and then getting the lead are 2 different things.
Ooh,
lap traffic. I don't know if that's where Roczen wanted to be.
I don't think so.
Much further wide in that corner compared to Plessinger. MAV TV brings you the Lucas Oil Racing Block. See new episodes from American Sprint Car Racing, Pro Pulling League, Late Model Dirt Series, and more weeknights on MAV TV. A great sprint to the finish has materialized here. Final third of our first moto of the 450 class at RedBud. Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. Ken Roczen in red of the 94 leads. Aaron Plessinger had the lead earlier. Roczen got him. Plessinger settled in. And it looks like he wants to lead back. And Dylan Ferrandis has closed from 3rd.
And as we see, lap traffic starting to come into play. And that's going to make things a little bit tricky because it's not like sometimes where there's one premier line. So if you're a lapper, you might think you're getting out of the way, but actually get right in the way unintentionally. That almost happened there to Roczen.
Oh, and it actually ended up working even worse for Plessinger. Neither of them able to jump Larocco's leap. So that's advantage Ferrandis in 3rd. Laps keep clicking off. How long can Roczen hold on?
Well, he would hope for 8 minutes, 20 seconds, and 2 laps.
Been a tough day so far for the Twisted Tea HEP Suzuki man. The very likable Max Anstey. They had some problems. They were working on the bike during qualifying. And we'll send it down to Ashley in the mechanics area.
Yeah, it looks like he has a flat on the rear tire. They're doing a really fast tire change. Great job just getting it back out there as quickly as possible. I know it's been a frustrating day for him, but we know Max, he'll answer back, and he's always charging.
All right, so we'll see what they can do in Moto 2. Probably not going to score any points here for Anstey. No change in the leaders. Tomac still fourth. Craig did it. He's gotten around Cianciarulo. Cianciarulo's lap times have really dropped off. So we're wondering what might be the issue there.
Hey, I tell you who's coming into the fray is Tomac.
Uh-oh.
Look at the zoomed out shot. There he is.
Yes.
He's creeping up. He's been quicker the last couple laps. Not by huge amounts, but about a second.
Ferrandis had kind of taken the mantle as you don't see him early in the race, and then late, there he is, Charger. But Eli Tomac can play that game too. We might have a 4-rider battle for it. Meanwhile, Ferrandis now close enough to try to make a move on Plessinger.
AP has a little look over his shoulder. Maybe didn't quite realize who was coming. I mean, Ferrandis' bike is kind of dirty. A lot of times riders, they can even recognize a rider by his style or, side shot.
Yeah, these two know each other well. They're teammates with that Monster Star Racing Yamaha crew. A little bit different program, though. Plessinger works with Gareth Swanepoel, the team trainer, and then Ferrandis has his own deal with David Villemin, one of the great French riders of the past. He's won some races in this series in his day, and it's worked out about the same right now as they tussle for that number 2 spot. And we do have to keep the radar on Tomac. Down to the inside goes Ferrandis. Oh! I don't know if he'll be able to jump the leap from there. If he does, it's over for Plessinger. Plessinger leaps. Plessinger gets it back. They're side by side.
That was scary for a second there. It's hard to tell from that side angle. AP looked like he was almost going to come down on Ferrandis.
Plessinger fighting with everything he has to hold his teammate off. Whoa, Ferrandis just barely able to get the bike into that rut. He enters these corners with such entrance speed.
But the bike is moving around a little more than he would like. And maybe a little bit like a Jet Lawrence scenario. Going to make some adjustments after this moto. But either way, he's still flying and on that ragged edge.
Yep, while they battle each other, Roczen's just up ahead. Can Tomac take advantage of this? You see the lap times on the left side. Once again, Tomac a little bit quicker than these top 3. And this is going to be cool. We've got the helicopter shot from Larocco's leap where Plessinger's on the inside of Roczen for the lead. Side by side. Who's going to get the drive as they land? It's Roczen holding on.
Great racing.
This 450 class just keeps delivering. And you got to give credit to these guys. Ferrandis caught them from a long way back, but they are not playing around. They're not giving it to him. He's having to work for it. And Tomac, he could be a factor as well.
See the old shark return.
Yeah.
Hunting him down later on.
Could be.
Kenny's been really solid up front with all this pressure. I mean, he can hear the fans, he can hear the bikes, he can see them when he comes out of the turns, but he hasn't made any major mistakes. Oh, a little mistake there from Plessinger coming out of that corner. Just buried the bike a little bit, and you can see Ferrandis, always an opportunist, looking to strike.
He's going to go all the way to the outside. Wherever Plessinger isn't, that's where Ferrandis is going to go. Who can get a drive to these sand rollers? While these teammates are battling now, Roczen just inching away ever so slightly. And look at Tomac getting closer and closer. Great racing here. And Ferrandis did it.
Yeah, from that front shot, it was hard to tell, but he must have just really nailed those rollers. And here comes Tomac. Oh, but there's some lap traffic. Is this going to hurt him a little bit?
I think so. He's not going to be able to do the leap. I would not think. Ferrandis does. Running out of time in this moto. Ferrandis has finally been able to get around Plessinger. Is there enough in it for him to get Roczen for the race win? Going to be a spectacular finish at RedBud. Man, this feels like the longest 30-minute and 2-lap moto. Roczen's got to be like, when is this thing over, man?
Yeah, he's really just trying to focus on himself right now. He's not looking over the shoulder. He's zoned in. Also, he's got to be good at anticipating where the lappers might be going. You don't want to get balked or held up, especially in a long, deep rut or before one of the big jumps.
Over the top of this triple. It's the least amount of pressure Roczen has had to deal with in a while as Ferrandis and Plessinger were trying to pass each other. It allowed Roczen to open up, as you can see, about a 2-second gap. See if Ferrandis can make short work of that, or will it stop here? Back on MAV TV, which brings you the ARCA Menard Series. Check it out live right here on MAV TV. Go to mavtv.com for the ARCA schedule. Racing uphill is what we call the Monza turn. You don't really realize the elevation as much when you see it from the helicopter shot. Has Ken Roczen answered? Both Plessinger and Ferrandis and even Eli Tomac were starting to lurk. Plessinger was putting pressure on. Roczen has opened it back up. Ferrandis is going to push hard. Same with Plessinger, same with Tomac. Let's see if Roczen can hold up.
Well, Eli obviously can see first, second, and third in front of him. And after that Moto win at the previous round, he said he had a 5-motor slump, and he's kind of proving it. Plessinger's going to leave the door open. So can he jump this and get it back? Oh, he still goes for it.
He goes for it, and it works. He's able to edge back ahead of Tomac.
Talk about threading the needle. He landed right on the edge of the jump. The dirt was breaking off the side. You can't say that these guys are not fully committed. That was a lot of skill and a little bit of luck.
It allowed him to, at least for the moment, hold Tomac off, but this is going to be tough. Eli, 3-time 450 motocross champ, is right there. And Ferrandis is right there now with Roczen. And the 2-lap board is still not out. It'll come around. I believe the next time they get to the finish line, the clock should expire.
It's going to be close, though.
Yeah, because we're a little ways in to this lap.
I think you're right, though. Roczen's surely hoping for that.
Absolutely, because this is as close as Plessinger has been to him. Last time around, Ferrandis, as close as he has been, and he has made up a bunch of ground. Last time around, 0.7 of a second quicker was Ferrandis compared to Roczen.
Yeah, he's been good through that turn as well. He charges this hill. He'll go to that outside. That inside slows him down a little bit on the exit.
Oh, he's got to look on the inside. Roczen greases that corner beautifully, using the outside to hold him off. Oh, but he's in the danger zone right now. Ferrandis is looking for an opening.
And there's lap traffic, and they're going in multiple lines.
Oh, there it is! Ferrandis able to get him. Roczen's going to have to respond now. This thing has changed in a hurry. A lap and a half ago, he had a 2-second gap.
And they know how much this means for the championship. Kenny does not want to give up any more points to Ferrandis, who's just been so consistent. You can't bank on Ferrandis making a mistake.
No.
You've got to go and straight up beat him.
And you can see Roczen is really pushing. He came into those rollers with a ton of speed.
He did, but Ferrandis is making that very left work somehow.
Yeah,
he's just getting the power to the ground. The bike is barely moving.
Look at Roczen working all the way to the left side to try to find some smooth ground. Now we go to Larocco's Leap. Will they both uncork it? No, Roczen does not. And look at the advantage that it gives Ferrandis.
Yeah, that's nice for Ferrandis. Just a little bit of breathing room. That way he doesn't have to worry about protecting that inside in every turn. He can run his lines. He likes to flow and sweep the turns. And once again, that back wheel was in a completely different rut, but he straightened it up very quickly.
I don't understand. How did he not? That did not turn into a huge mistake. That is 101. You can't have the wheels in 2 different ruts. He did it. He didn't even slow down. I don't know. There's no answer right now. The guy started behind Tomac and Sean Cerullo and Roczen and Plessinger. He got them all. Meanwhile, this battle, Tomac versus Plessinger for third. Going to be good. Lap and a half to go because that Fly Racing 2-lap car did come out.
Yeah, an AP, man, still a solid motor. I know he'd be really disappointed to not be on the podium after running up front the whole race. But we know how strong Eli is in these closing laps. He loves RedBud.
Yeah, and what also makes this critical is the odds of getting the overall win for the weekend go up massively if you get third. Wait a minute. Ken Roczen closing back up on Ferrandis.
This is not over. And as we keep saying, they're going to be hitting more lap traffic. And I just feel like this track's a little harder if you're racing as a lapper to really kind of get out of the way. You can, and the speed differential between the top guys and sort of the back markers this weekend is actually a little bit greater than it has been at the previous round. So they're going to hit more lap traffic, and the speed differential is a little bit, you know, more significant.
Yeah, it has been a big factor for certain. Listen to this crowd, by the way. Loving this action.
I love that line from Ken, but I tell you what, can't quite see exactly what Ferrandis is doing, but he's doing it really well. Oh,
and they have the no jump.
No,
is that Dean Wilson? Oh.
And he was having a great moto too.
Yeah, he was just outside of the top 10. Now they can pick race pace back up. Ferrandis for the lead.
That was so pretty. He came out of the turn, wheelied in the rear, caught the backside of the inside berm and pulled him down to the backside of the roller. Like that's pretty cool.
There it is, white flag for Ferrandis. Roczen put in a flurry there. Well, the second half of the track was definitely better for Ferrandis. Is this section maybe better for Roczen? Because a lap ago he did make up ground here.
I also think that they didn't give him the white flag, so I'm wondering if maybe he didn't.
Did he see it? Yeah,
they
I don't know.
had the 2-lap card and then they waved it for Kenny, but I don't think they actually gave it to him. So he may not know that this is the last lap. He saw the 2-lap card again.
I agree. They didn't wave the white until Roczen came around. Now, if Ferrandis saw the 2 to go last time, then he'd still know.
But
so
I've seen it more often than not. They'll hold the 2-lap card twice.
Okay.
Because maybe someone jumped the gun. Usually.
So it's no guarantee.
No.
All right.
But he has a look. He's at least noticing where Kenny is. See, even the gloves, a little red and blue.
Okay.
But I guess being French, it is red, white, and blue as well. So
yeah, the tricolors.
It goes both ways.
That's right. Tricolors, as they call them. Ferrandis. Still a slight edge over Roczen. Roczen was a little bit closer the last time around. Roczen might need a mistake or one of these lap riders, which is certainly possible, to slow Ferrandis up. And Ferrandis takes a quick look.
Yeah, being a little, I think, over the top with the looking behind him. He knows better. Keep your head forward. You can hear when someone's close enough to make a pass. But I think he's, maybe with the crowd, he actually can't hear too much besides the crowd noise.
Yeah, they are absolutely cranking here, as is he. He's already won some races this year. He's already been the points leader. But I got to say, this is the true statement ride to go through this pack. And the lap times he was throwing down, serving notice of the level that they're going to have to get to if they want to stop this guy and take the points lead away from him. Here he is toward Larocco's lead for the final time. Choosing not to jump it, going to take the safe route. Dylan Ferrandis, perhaps his best moto yet this season. From behind, wins at RedBud. Roczen cruises across. He gave it a run until the white flag. Solid run for Kenny to take second, but they're all going to have to find a little more to hold back the number 14.
And AP gets that third.
Where's Tomac?
Maybe he just backed off.
Yeah.
Maybe he made a mistake or something and backed off. So Yamaha, who struggled so much over the years in this class, now have 2 riders on the podium.
We got to give credit to everyone at this Star Racing organization. They've taken over Yamaha's 450 program. They were the 250 team for a long time. They had great success there. The Yamaha people say, look, we didn't give the program to them to save money. It wasn't a budget thing. It was a performance thing. We want better results, and they are getting them right now. Cianciarulo ends up coming across in 6th. Sexton, who was upside down in turn 1, came back for 8th.
Right behind Wynn.
Yeah. And shout out again to Craig. That was a good ride for him to finish up in the top 5. There's the Yamaha boys, happy to have 2 out of 3 spots on the podium. But everybody's scratching their heads a little bit. How do they answer the number 14? Dylan Ferrandis on top again. We are back, crowd headed over to the podium area to celebrate with our 450 Moto 1 top 3. And the number 1 in that group is the number 14, Dylan Ferrandis, with a resounding win from the pack. Let's send it down to Ashley.
And believe it or not, it's only his 2nd Moto win of the season. Dylan, that one didn't come easy. You had to fight pretty hard for it. What gives you the confidence to ride the edge and make those passes?
I don't know. I was just giving 100% on the track. I had a lot of fun here, even if the track was really difficult to ride, really bumpy. Was rough, but I mean, it's motocross. I enjoyed this condition. My start was not so bad, but we banged ball with Kenny in a straightaway. And yeah, after that I had to come back, but it was good. I enjoyed this moto, big battle with my teammate and Ken. Glad I won for sure, but yeah, well, it was such a fun moto, and yeah, it's amazing. This place is one of the best places in the world. Like the fan cheering on the side of the track, and the track being so fun to ride. Yeah, it's awesome. Big shout out to my team, Yamaha Star Racing Monster Energy team. Bike was great again, and yeah, all the sponsors that helped me. My trainer GV, my wife Nastasia, everybody in the team, my mechanic, and all the sponsors, Toro, Alpine Star, Bird, 100%, Toyota Escondido, and all the people that helped me. Thank you very much.
Well, congratulations on another Moto win. Guys, I have to agree with them. RedBud is one of the greatest places in the world.
Yeah, Ashley getting their first taste of it here as well. What'd you say about those guys lining up in the line, going bar to bar?
Yep.
Out of the gate, Roxon
Yep.
and Ferrandis. Exactly what happened.
Yeah, but they were elbow to elbow. You could kind of see. It was hard to tell, but obviously, like he said, they were leaning on each other.
All right, here's your Lucas Oil race recap. Yep, so the guys that are first and second at points, banging bars off the line. Plessinger got the lead early, and then Roxon was able to close in. This is a great battle.
That was a great line there from Kenny. It goes to the inside, just catches AP napping a little bit into that turn.
Able to take it over. You had Cianciarulo in third for a while, then Ferrandis started getting going. He got around Tomac, he got around Cianciarulo, and it took a long time, but he eventually got around Plessinger as well.
Yeah, made that move, and you can see Ken Roxon was just up the road. He would get to the rear, and then Kenny had to make a decision with the lap. Traffic goes to the outside, and a beautiful move there from Ferrandis.
Roxon stayed in, and about a lap later, he was showing Ferrandis a wheel, but on the final lap, Ferrandis pulled away, and he does it by making passes and being strong down the stretch, which is definitely what he is known for. So Dylan Ferrandis on top. Yeah, that is hard to believe. It's only his second Moto win of the year, considering he's a series leader. These are guaranteed rate results. Plessinger and Tomac had a good scrap. Plessinger holds on for third. Craig a great ride for fifth. We'll show you 11 through 20. Hartranft a good run in 11th. Bogle in 14th. And Bryce Backus rounds out the top 20. Let's go back to the podium.
A lot of Ken Roxon fans here today. Ken, you led a lot of those laps out there. Got passed by Ferrandis. Some lappers came into play a little bit. What do you take out of this one to bring into Moto 2 and possibly an overall?
Well, I was trying to find some lines to keep my rhythm up. It's really difficult because we have a lot of loose stuff on top and then a really hard base, and the track's super busy as it gets rough. So I was trying to pick some line and to keep my momentum up, but then Dylan was right there to the inside, and I tried really hard again to come back on him, but I was fighting the track, the bike a little bit. He rode well, and it was a good battle though, so I'm okay with it. We're going to try and come back in the second moto and put on another show for these guys.
Congratulations on your second place finish. You guys, the top two in the series, still battling each other.
Yeah, that was a fun one. We'll have a rematch later. Some cool gear that Fox brought out, by the way. That's old school Rick Johnson look with the Team USA apparel that pretty much everybody's got on July 4th weekend, even the bikes. It's such a fun weekend here at RedBud. And then we'll go to Southwick, the Wick, next weekend. Nice run of races, Spring Creek in Minnesota, and then Washougal in Washington. And then Unadilla after a break. Let's give you the motorsport.com whole shot replay here. We mentioned Ferrandis and Roxon hooking it up out of the gate, and Plessinger is able to lead them in.
Yeah, you can see Ferrandis' leg comes off the peg as he's leaning there, and then that's what happened. I think when Ferrandis got pushed a little bit wide, in the middle there you just see, whoa. Yeah, I think Sexton's front end gets tucked.
Plessinger edging out Webb for that motorsport.com pole shot, and he led for a while, got past, came back, ends up on the podium. Let's send it to Ashley.
Including a USA chant as we celebrate 4th of July here at RedBud. AP, you had a great start. The whole shot led some laps out there. How motivating is it to be here on 4th of July weekend in front of these fans and put on a race like that?
Man, this is my favorite race. I've been here a lot of times, raced as an amateur, but dude, that start was awesome, and I knew the fans were getting into it. I could hear the horns, and I could hear you guys all the way around the track, and you guys keep me going, man. It's good to be back up here, and
Yeah, you fans, can I get a RedBud?
I was waiting for it. Congratulations, AP, on that finish at 3rd place here. He'll bring it in Moto number 2.
We just have Plessinger go to the podium, whether he finishes in the top 3 or not. Man, great personality on him. AP chant going. Tosses those 100% goggles in the crowd. That is good stuff. And a hat, why not? Hey, we got Ryan Dungey with us. So we saw great racing in both this 450 moto, also in the 250 class. So Ryan Dungey, what are your thoughts maybe going into that second set of motos? What did you see in Moto 1?
Well, I think that Plessinger moment was my favorite part of the whole day here. But after watching both first motos, the one thing that sticks out to me is Hampshire. Rode with a lot of heart, went down twice, almost came back to win it, and I can just sense that he's sick of these off-the-podium finishes. He wants to get a good finish, and I don't think he's going to settle for anything less than a win today. So I think it's going to be really interesting to watch the second moto of the 250s. Yeah, that's right. That's the cool thing about motocross. You get another shot at it, and Hampshire will put his best foot forward. We'll have second motos live on Peacock if you subscribe, or at 5 Eastern on NBCSN tonight. So that 250 class is interesting. Let's see if Hampshire can finish the deal. But in this 450 class, is it time to start scratching your head and figure out what do we got to do with Ferrandis, for everyone but Ferrandis?
Yeah, they're going to have to try and figure it out. I mean, when you watch Ferrandis ride, everything is thought out. It's planned. He puts the bike where he wants it. He's obviously in great shape because you watch him ride. He doesn't hold back on not charging all the time, the whole time. And I know all these guys have great training programs, but he's doing everything as well as just his corner speed, you know, and that's one of the things the Europeans were always known for was corner speed, and the GPs. He's bringing that to these tracks where you can use multiple lines, and the other guys are going to have to figure out a way, you know, to kind of match that, because in other areas they're just as strong, maybe even a little bit better, but unfortunately, there's corners all around every motocross track. So.
Yeah, you gain a couple hundredths in every single corner. Add that up, and you get a couple tenths by the end of the lap. Fans getting reset. Time to have a little snack. And we'll get ready for our second motos. And then it's just going to keep on coming because we've got Southwick next weekend, Spring Creek, 2 very popular tracks, the beautiful Washougal. Then a couple weekends off and our stretch run, Unadilla, Budds Creek, Ironman. We'll go back to Fox Raceway just at the beginning of September, and we will end the season where we normally begin it at Hangtown. Who will be holding the #1 plates by then? Really hard to predict this early in the season and this early in the race day. We still have 2 more motos to go on a beautiful day at RedBud. For Ashley Raynard and Ryan Dungey and Grant Langston, I'm Jason Wygant. Thanks for watching the first half of our day. Flip over to NBCSN at 5 Eastern, or keep on watching live the Peacock. Congrats to our first moto winners, Jet Lawrence and Dylan Ferrandis here at RedBud.